Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on bettor. Another very beautiful Saturday morning, and once again, we are back with our predictions as usual. Always what we do, looking at football games that are happening across the globe, and using the stats and in the previous games, we always use it to come up with the best possible verdicts for each of these matches. All right, today we have these games lined up, and we'll looking at these matches one after the other. Before we head on, we'll talk about yesterday's games, and we see that yesterday wasn't the best of days for us. Seeing that most of the matches, with like the likes of Atletico Madrid, Atletico Bilbao rather actually losing out to Manchester United yesterday, and we expected a win or draw for the home side, but they had a red card in the earlier time of the match, and thereby conceding to Madrid 3 goals in the first half. All right, that happens in football most of the time, and can rule out the surprises in football. But today we have our games well looked into, and also today's games are actually quite risky, saying that they are actually carrying big odds. But it is my job to look at the fish out opportunities like this, and it's also your role to decide whether to align with my decision or not. But for me, I will always go with taking this risk and see how it goes. Sometimes it's rewarding, sometimes it's not. But we should have that open mind and try our best. All right. So without further ado, I want to ask those of us who are coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe, take our time to hit the subscription button right now so that you don't miss out on our subsequent football predictions that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. Okay, that being said, let's head to the business of today, and we'll start with the very first match. It is in England, English Premier League. We'll have Manchester City who will facing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Okay, when you take a look at the recent games for these two sides, you will see for Manchester City in the last six, I've seen 5 victories and a draw, but away side Wolves have won 6 out of 6 they're in fine form at the moment. Also Man City is in good form. So when you take a look at how these two teams fared on home and away basis, you see that Man City have actually been able to achieve their 7 victories and a draw in the last 10 home matches. They've also lost 2 games to Liverpool and Real Madrid on that occasion. And their way side, Wolverhampton Wanderers, their way side have actually been able to achieve 6 victories and 1 draw in the last 10 away games, okay? And they've lost 3 matches in the last 10 away matches that they had so far. And taking a look at how these two teams fared on head-to-head basis, it was Man City who actually have been dominating the meetings. The last 2 meetings, so much Man City beating this very side. That also happened in October of last year, But in this very one, also putting into consideration the fact that Man City will actually need this very game to win in order to consolidate their position in the Champions League, rating for English Premier League. But Wolves and the Wanderers have nothing to lose in this very one. Whether they lose or win, it won't add much to their, to any of anything for them in this season. So we expect to see the home side who actually need this match, Manchester City, to take the day and win out trouble in this one. Home win, that's what we expect for that very encounter, okay? And the next is in French National, where we have Nancy who will face in Nimes, okay? And Nancy, topping the league at the moment, have actually won 5 games out of 6. They've also had 1 draw, and away side Nimes have had just 1 win, 2 draws, but have lost 3 games in the last 6 matches, okay? And looking at how they fared from home and away basis, you see Nancy have won 7 games from home, losing 3 matches, and away side Nimes have just 1 win and 2 draws, losing 7 games in the last 10 away matches, okay? And on head-to-head basis, you can see that Nancy have been quite dominant of this very time between this very side. Even last meeting was actually in January of this year. We saw Nancy from away defeating their Nimes by 2-1. Prior to that, we also saw Nancy beating this very side by 3-1. So in this very encounter, we expect the home side who will actually need this, to consolidate actually the top in the table, and they needed to actually win and consolidate in the French National. So it is the home side to win out shortly. That's what we expect for this very one. All right, and the next is in Iceland, first division, where we have a Trotter Reykjavik coming up against Legna Reykjavik. Okay, and when you look at the games for these two sides, you can see that the home side have actually won 3 games and 3 losses in the last 6 matches, and the away side, on the other hand, have won just 1 game and a draw, losing 4 games in the last 6 games that they have so far. All right, and when you take a look at how this is fared from home and away basis, you see that Trotter, the home side, have actually had 6 wins and 4 losses out of the last 6 games, and the away side, on the other hand, have had just 1 win, 4 draws, as well as 5 losses in the last 6 recent encounters. Okay. All right, but when you look at the outcome, the score line closely, you can see that for the home side, the last 10 home meetings, home matches, I've actually seen them, producing so many goals. The last home match saw them winning by 7 goals to nil. They've actually had matches that are over 2.5 8 times out of 10. And away side, on the other hand, also have seen a very, very similar situation, having recorded over 2.5 score line 7 times out of 10 in the last 10 away games. And in this very one, when you take a look at head-to-head proceedings, you can see that the last 10 meetings between two sides produce goals over 2.5 on all 10 meetings. So we'll be expecting to see a minimum of 3 goals in this one, and it is an over 2.5. That's a value for that very game. Okay. Also in the Iceland League, we will have Tor will be coming up against the HK. Okay, when you look at recent games for Tor, it is 4 wins and a draw, as well as 1 loss in the last 6 games. And away side, HK have won 2 games and 2 draws, also losing 2 matches in the last 6 matches. All right, when you look at how they fared on one basis, you can see that playing from home, the home side Tor have actually had 5 victories and 4 draws, losing 1 match in the last 10 home matches. And away side, HK have managed just 1 win and 2 draws, losing 7 games out of the last 10 away attempts. Okay, and on head-to-head basis, last time they met, it was Tor who actually won by 4 goals to 1 against his first. So that was in League Cup, of Iceland, and the Tor also won prior to that, also last year in the League Cup. So in this very encounter, we expect the home side. It's quite a big odd, 2.87 odds, a lot of odd, and we expect the home side, who have shown promise against this very side in recent times, winning on the last 2 meetings, to win actually in this very one. So it is the home side to win outrightly. That's what we expect for that very game. Okay, and the next the next is in Denmark, first division. Division 1 rather, when we have B93 Copenhagen coming up against Vin Diesel. Okay, for Copenhagen, the home side, it is 3 victories and 2 draws, as well as 1 loss. And away side, Vin Diesel is 1 win, 3 draws, as well as 2 losses. Okay, on home and away comparison, we could see that the home side, B93, have actually won 4 games and 2 draws, losing 4 matches in the last 10 home matches. And away side, Vin Diesel have actually had only 4 draws, and they've lost 6 games. They've not been able to win a single match in the last 10 away appearances. And on head-to-head basis, it was Vin Diesel who has been winning the head-to-head meetings. Even the last one was actually in April. Vin Diesel won from home by 3 goals to 1 on that occasion. But in this very one, judging by the recent form of the home side, we saw them beating the likes of Hobro by 5 goals to 0 in the last home game that they had. And meanwhile, Hobro defeated Vin Diesel by 3 goals to 1 also this last very month. So we expect to see the home side. It's a very risky one in this, but we expect the home side to win in this one outright. So home win, that's a verdict. Okay, and then last game for today is in Slovakia League 2, where we have Poroni, who will be coming up against Future Humene. And when we look at Poroni, the home side, just 1 win in the last 6 matches, and they've also lost 6 games. Lost their 5 games out of the last 6 games. And away side, Humene have had 2 victories and a draw, losing 3 matches. Okay. And on home and away comparison, you can see that Poroni, the home side, have won 4 games out of the last 10 home matches, and they've also lost 6 games out of it. And away side, Futura Humene have had just 1 win, 2 draws, but have lost 7 games out of the last 10 away games. Okay, but but on head-to-head basis, it was Humene who won the last meeting, which was in October, and they played from home on that occasion. Poroni is playing from home in this time around, and we're expecting to see the home side win in this very one. It's a risky one, but we intend towards rooting for the home side to take the day. So it is the home win. That's our vibe for that very game, and that will bring our predictions for you today on Betcraft to conclusion. Also, we wish you the very best of luck. I hope your ticket goes green, and hopefully we are going to have a great day. All right. Also remember to like and share, and also comment your opinion, and also remember to join our Telegram channel, Betcraft, where we'll be posting more updates today and tomorrow, and also on a daily basis. Some games that we may not be talking about on video. All right. That being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll back with our predictions, but until that time, keep winning.